Hi everyone, this is Amy from the Helms Academy, and today we'll be doing our Reading and Writing Club recap from Homonyms and Homophones on October 27th, 2020. So we started with the opening question, and it really refers back to some of our old reading and writing clubs, where we talked about prefixes and suffixes. So one thing I want you to think about here is we see homonym and homophone. So what does homo mean? What does nym mean? What does phone mean? Well, homo means same. So if you see that like on homogenized milk, it means that that milk has been made to be the same throughout, no separation of cream on the top. When you see nym, N-Y-M, that means name. And when you see phone, it has to do with the sound. So that will help us to put together the meanings of homonym and homophone. So homophones are two or more words having the same pronunciation, but different meanings or spellings. So my question to you is, can you think of any words that sound the same, but are spelled different or have different meanings? Let's take a look. So here are some common homophones. We have sun and sun, not and not, steel and steel, tail and tail, here and here, three here, there and there, no and no, your and your, two and two, except and accept, and it's. So with this information, we can see that there are a lot of words in the English language that have the same sound, but they actually do have different meanings and often different spellings. So just to look at some practice and examples here, we see the following sentences. His son kept his eyes away from the sun in order to not get blinded. Well, we see son, S-O-N, meaning a father and son, like a family relationship, and sun, S-U-N, like the sun we see outside. For the second one, we see, do you not know how to tie a knot? Well, not, N-O-T, is like the opposite of a positive. It's a negative. You can't do it. And knot, with a K, is a knot like you tie with rope. For the third one, we see, you must make sure no one steals this. It's made from precious steel. So we see here steals and steel. When we have an A in the word, it's to take something. And then two E's is the metal, steel. For four, we see, let me tell you the tale of how my cat came to have no tail. So tale, T-A-L-E, is a story, but tail, T-A-I-L, is the part of an animal's body. The fifth one says, is that their cat over there? They're running after it now. So we see all three theirs here, and these can often get mixed up. So let's look at the difference. We see, is that their cat? Well, T-H-E-I-R is possessive. The cat belongs to them. And then we say over there is a place or direction. When we see the apostrophe, T-H-E-Y, apostrophe R-E, that means they are running. For number 6, it says, I know you're getting tired of us correcting your grammar. Well, for the first one, again, we see that apostrophe, so we're thinking about two words put together, you are. I know you are getting tired. And for the second one, we see just Y-O-U-R, which means it belongs to you, your grammar. For number 7, it says, at 2 in the morning, it's too cold to let the dog sit in its pen outside. Now, this is tricky because we have two sets here. First, we have two, and two, and then we see it's and its. So at 2 in the morning, like the number 2, it's too cold, like an excess of cold, right? It's too much. To let the dog go out. T-O, we often see in front of verbs like to let, to go, to jump, to run. Now with it's and its, this is one that's often mixed up even by people who write all the time. So IT apostrophe S means it is. Again, we're thinking of two words that we put together. So it is the apostrophe. When we see just ITS, it means belonging to it. So here we say its pen, which is referring to the dog as it, and the pen belongs to it, or the dog. The second thing we're going to cover today is homonym. So a homonym is, there are two words that have the same spelling and pronunciation, but they have different meanings. So again, I challenge you, can you think of any words that are spelled the same, but we could use them in two totally different ways in a sentence? We're going to look at some examples now. So the words band, express, kind, bat, match, fine, we could see all of these words in multiple different contexts, and they'd be said and written the same way. So let's look at some examples of how they might have different meanings, even though it's the same word. So for example, with kind, we could say Stephanie is a very kind person, or do you want this kind of cereal or the other kind? Well, in the first sentence, we're saying that she's really nice, but the second sentence, kind means type, this type of cereal or the other type of cereal. For bat, we could say she is very scared of bats, like the animal, or we could say she batted the air in front of her face to clear the bugs. So bat could be a verb, an action that we take, or even with a baseball bat, that could be another meaning here. And very scared of bats like the animal as well. Express, we could say you expressed how you did not want to come here. Or is this the express train to Trenton? Well, the first one is like a showing of emotion. You expressed something. And the second one, an express train, would be the fastest one. So let's mix it up here. You might see some homonyms, some homophones, and a lot of mix-up sentences here. So let's start with number one. It says, that was kind of you to send 2 kinds of soda for us. Well, we see kind and two and two. First, we think of kind as in it was nice of you. And then the second one, 2 types of soda. The first 2, we see to send, like we said, in front of a verb. And the second 2 meaning the number. For number 2, we see, I didn't know that there were no more t-shirts left. So our first no, when we see that K-N-O-W, means that we're thinking of knowledge, something in your brain. And the second one, the opposite of yes, right? There is none, right? There were no more. That means there's 0 t-shirts. So the third one says, you're going to drop a single drop of water from your container. So your and your, we see Y-O apostrophe R, Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, which is you are. And at the end, we see your container. The container belongs to you. It's possessive. For drop, we see to drop, right? Like an item that you drop. Or we could see a single drop, like a little bit of water that comes out. Now, 4 says, when I left for work, I saw something to the left which caught my eye. Now, this one has a number of different homonyms and homophones. First, we see I and I is in me, and I is in the body part, E-Y-E. And we also see left and left. So left meaning the past tense of leave, and left meaning the opposite of right. So the first one, we see that action, and the second one, we see the location or place. For 5, it says, he can eat a whole can of our beans in an hour. So he can, meaning he's able to, eat a whole can of our beans. So like the container, a can. Now here, this is a little bit confusing because it depends on your pronunciation. Many people say our and our. So our beans belonging to us, and hour as in the amount of time. For number 6, it says, they're going to steal all their precious steel. So we saw some of these examples before, obviously with steal and steal. We see the EA, it means to take. And we see the EE, it means the metal. For there and there, we see they are, T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E, and there is in belonging to them, T-H-E-I-R. Thank you so much, and I hope that you learned something new about homophones and homonyms today. Knowing more about homophones and homonyms makes us stronger readers and writers, and particularly helps with spelling. I hope you'll check out some of our other videos on here by subscribing to our YouTube channel and getting all the latest updates. And you can also check out our Facebook and Instagram and our website at helmsacademy.org.